Hi, so you've been training in Jiu-Jitsu. It could be a month, it could be 10 years. And the question that you're always asking yourself, or people ask you, which is better? Do you go with group lessons or private lessons? And my quick answer is really, I would do both. Now, they each have value. Now, the group lessons, obviously, they give you the ability to work with a wide variety of people. The more different types of people you train with, the better. However, in a group class, your teaching is not tailored. It's basically you're being taught what everybody else is being taught. Now, what if you have these lessons that go A through Z, and they're sequential, meaning that you need to have lesson P before you do lesson R, and you have had neither P or anything prior to that. You walk in, and that particular class is either teaching lesson R, and you don't have all the prerequisites. Well, in a group class, that's kind of too bad, because that's what's being taught. So you'll learn it, of course, but you may not know the context in which that technique gets used, because you don't know what comes before that. So in that way, a group class may not be to your advantage. What'll have to happen is, if the classes are taught in order, you just did lesson R, then you'll do S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, back to A, B, C, and then all the way back to P again. So, assuming each class goes in order, which I can tell you 99% of schools do not do their classes in order of their curriculum. And sometimes the curriculum doesn't have any order, it's just random. But let's assume for the sake that it is in order, like the way we do it here at Kama Jiu-Jitsu, and you have to circle all the way back around to take lesson Q before you get to lesson R. So you can then understand, oh, that's where it came from. Well, that'll take you a long time to get there, which is why you have a lot of times people are lost as white belts. And they just say, I just come into class and get beat up every day. And the thought is that I'll just keep getting beat up over and over, and then one day I'll learn how to defend myself, and then I'll learn how to actually do any offense. Well, in a private class, private session, it shouldn't really happen that way. So I'll give you an idea. So when we teach private sessions here at Kama Jiu-Jitsu, what we do is we look at, for somebody who hasn't been taught before, as a brand new student, we teach them our curriculum and we teach it to them in order. The order in which they're supposed to learn everything, and everything builds on itself. Kind of like the way when you build a house. When you build a house, you always do the foundation first, then you do the what my son called, when he was a baby, he called the skeleton of the house, really, meaning the 2x4s and all that. And then you start putting all the walls and the roof and all that kind of stuff. So you need to build the structure first, the foundation, the structure, then you can do the furnishings. With Jiu-Jitsu, it's the same way. You can't be learning flying arm bars before you learn how to do an arm bar in the first place, right? You can't be doing exotic type chokes until you learn a basic cross collar choke. You can't be learning how to do flip guard passes before you learn how to do a basic guard pass. So a private sessions, you have your instructor who you take privates from, he will teach you, or he should teach you, in that particular order, so that you can get the most out of your time on the mat. Now, we do have students that just do private sessions only. A lot of it is because they're working professionals, they travel. I have a management consultant who works in different countries, but he's back for the weekends most of the time, and all he can do is do a private a week. So we'll try to also do a small group class with the advanced guys on the weekends, so that you can get a second time in. And that one is done more as a semi-private group, so it's a very small group. So that helps him as well. And the best of both worlds is you do a one-on-one session maybe once a week, and then you do 2 or 3 group classes. Now, everybody doesn't have the time for that, and also may not have the money for that, because private sessions cost significantly more than group sessions. It's like having a private tutor in school. You may go to your math class and you learn in a class with 30 people. Well, the instructor really just has to go at a certain pace, and it's either keep up or don't. Now, with Jiu-Jitsu, that happens in a group class too. So what people do is then, for math class, if you're struggling, you go and get a math tutor. Or if you want to be able to get ahead, you go get a math tutor. Now, private sessions in Jiu-Jitsu is just simply like a tutor, where we just kind of help you get to where you need to go. That could be one. Or if you're an advanced student, you know, we have advanced students come in. You know, I've got a couple of guys that come in from San Antonio, and we basically plug holes. So there are parts in their game where they think they're deficient, or when I train with them, I say, well, you know, you might need a little help here. Then I can go over and plug that hole for them, so then they can now fortify their game. So there are many different reasons for having it. And then they go back to where they're, you know, to San Antonio, and they'll do their group classes, and then practice what we did in the private session in their group classes. And when we do seminars, when Professor Dave and I will do seminars, or when Professor Jack does seminars, we'll do the group seminar, and then we'll also book private sessions with anybody who's interested. So again, if you can choose, I would choose to do both, if your means allow it. If not, then just do the group classes, because you have to, you know, it's a good way to get training. However, you're just going to have to take a little more responsibility when it comes to what you're learning and how you're learning. The question comes down to, well, what if I don't know what I'm supposed to know when? Well, yeah, that's part of the problem with being in a group class. But if you're in a school that has a good curriculum and they do it in a structured way, then you'll probably be fine. So, and I say probably because everybody's a little bit different in how they learn and how they process information. So that's really the whole thing in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just go ahead and comment below, and I'll try to get to answering them. But at any rate, whatever you do, just get on the mat and train, and have a good time doing it. Whether you do groups, whether you do private sessions, or whether you do both. Jiu-Jitsu is a journey, and it's meant to be fun. Anyway, take care. Have a great time. Bye-bye.